In the heart of Philadelphia, a city steeped in American history, stands a monument to a radical experiment in criminal justice that would reshape how society viewed punishment, rehabilitation, and human dignity. Eastern State Penitentiary, once the most famous prison in the world, represents a profound turning point in the evolution of incarceration, a place where architectural innovation and philosophical idealism collided with the harsh realities of human nature. Opened in 1829, Eastern State Penitentiary was more than just a prison. It was a revolutionary concept born from the progressive minds of the Pennsylvania Quaker movement. These reformers believed that criminals could be transformed through solitude, reflection, and hard labor, a stark contrast to the brutal, overcrowded prisons of the early 19th century. The prison's design was nothing short of revolutionary, with its distinctive wagon wheel layout allowing guards to observe inmates from a central hub, creating a panopticon-like environment that was unprecedented for its time. The prison's architecture was itself a statement of purpose. Designed by architect John Haviland, Eastern State looked more like a medieval castle than a traditional jail. Its imposing stone walls, Gothic-style towers, and radial cell blocks were intentionally intimidating, meant to inspire awe and reflect the serious nature of criminal rehabilitation. Each cell was equipped with running water and a flush toilet, luxuries almost unheard of in public buildings of that era, let alone prisons. But the true innovation lay in the prison's philosophical approach. Unlike previous systems that focused on punishment through physical brutality, Eastern State introduced the concept of separate system or Pennsylvania system of imprisonment. Inmates were kept in complete isolation, with individual cells designed to be their entire world. They were expected to work, reflect, and ultimately find spiritual redemption through solitude and hard labor. This approach was both idealistic and deeply problematic. Prisoners were kept in complete isolation, allowed only a Bible and their thoughts. They wore masks when moved between areas to prevent interaction with other inmates. The theory was that complete isolation would force criminals to confront their inner demons, reflect on their crimes, and ultimately emerge as reformed individuals. In practice, however, the system often drove inmates to the brink of madness. Notable inmates passed through its halls, adding layers of intrigue to its already fascinating history. Al Capone, perhaps the most famous prisoner, was incarcerated here in 1929 for carrying a concealed weapon. His cell, meticulously decorated with expensive furniture, stood in stark contrast to the Spartan conditions of other inmates. Bank robber Willie Sutton, another infamous criminal, also called Eastern State home during his numerous incarcerations. The prison's influence extended far beyond its walls. Its design became a model for over 300 prisons worldwide, with architects and prison reformers studying its innovative approach to incarceration. Countries from Australia to England adopted elements of its architectural and philosophical principles, making Eastern State a global benchmark in prison design. However, the idealistic vision of rehabilitation gradually crumbled under the weight of practical challenges. As the prison population grew, the strict isolation system became unsustainable. By the 1913, the original separate system was abandoned, and Eastern State transitioned to a more traditional congregate system where inmates could interact. The prison continued operating until 1971, when it was finally closed, having become obsolete and overcrowded. For years, it sat abandoned, a crumbling testament to a bygone era of criminal justice philosophy. Nature reclaimed its corridors, and its cells became home to pigeons and decay, creating an eerily beautiful landscape of architectural deterioration. In 1994, the site was reopened as a historic site and museum, preserving its complex legacy. Today, visitors can walk through its haunting cell blocks, experiencing the same spaces where thousands of inmates once lived, worked, and sought redemption. The preservation efforts have transformed Eastern State from a forgotten prison into a powerful educational tool, offering insights into the evolution of criminal justice, architectural innovation, and societal approaches to punishment. The penitentiary stands as a profound metaphor for America's ongoing struggle with incarceration. Its history reflects the continuous tension between punishment and rehabilitation, between societal protection and individual human dignity. From its revolutionary beginnings to its current status as a historic landmark, Eastern State Penitentiary remains a powerful reminder of how institutions can both reflect and challenge the moral complexities of their time. As visitors walk its silent corridors, they are confronted with a complex narrative, one of well-intentioned reform, human suffering, architectural brilliance, and the eternal question of whether true rehabilitation is possible within institutional walls. Eastern State is more than a prison. It's a mirror reflecting society's evolving understanding of justice, punishment, and the potential for human transformation.